This software is GridPlay, a playback-only version of MIDIgrid. MIDIgrid is a very versatile piece of software that can be used by teachers and other users to create resources in a wide range of different styles and to suit all ages and abilities. This particular grid here, a grid is really a kind of mini application. That's what the different files for MIDIgrid or GridPlay are called. This particular grid is the Harps grid, and this has proved very popular in special needs situations because anyone who can move the cursor by means of a mouse, trackball, or any special access device for controlling the mouse can make music with this grid. You can see that the grid contains little black dots or bars, and these are individual notes which are played in this case on a harp sound. Now the sounds can be triggered in two ways. An individual note can be triggered with the left mouse button. Or the right mouse button can be depressed and locked, held down, and then I can move smoothly from one note to another. Now, if it's a sustaining sound, the note will sustain until it enters the next box. The Harps isn't a particularly sustaining sound, but that's I can do with the right mouse button. Now, most special needs users won't be able to hold down the right mouse or trackable button as they play, but there are various ways of locking it. Also, generally, there's scope for dual control, so that the carer or teacher can have a device hold keeping the right button down while the disabled person just moves the cursor. There's also a little utility available from the full picture, which will toggle the right mouse button lock on and off. So there are various ways in which it can be facilitated. And by playing at different speeds, different directions, one can get very pleasant sounds. Special needs users usually want to move quite slowly, and so a more sustained sound can be more suitable for that, and we can change the sound to any of the general MIDI sounds. This software here is running on Windows 10, and it can play the general MIDI sounds. So we can see that orchestral harp is the only one that is specified apart from the piano, which is the basic, the default sound. And if we click on the arrow to the right of that, we can change. We've got a selection of different sounds. I'm going to try synth strings 2. And that's a more sustained sound that many special needs people will like. although the Harps sound is extremely popular. I can record what I play on the grid. Here, perform, record, and I just click on start, and then I play away. Stop, and a sign is highlighted here. If I click on that and then go to an empty box on the grid and left click, you can see that a long bar has been placed in that cell of the grid. That's the recording I've just made, and I can play it by just left clicking. Now, as this is a playback version only of MIDIgrid, I can't save that. If I exit this grid, I will lose my recording. But all the GridPlay grids, they were created in MIDIgrid, and they can be loaded into MIDIgrid. And if I make recordings in the parent MIDIgrid software, I can give it to the grid a different name and save it, and I can make as many recordings as I want. I can also do many other things with it that I won't go into just now. But that's just a little introduction to what is perhaps the most popular special needs grid